Hey everyone, welcome to our channel Life Creative. In today's video, we're going to be painting some hydrangeas. First, I lightly sketched out the flowers that I wanted to paint. I didn't put any details on these. I just lightly drew out where I wanted my flowers to be. This kind of just helps me follow along the general shape of where my flowers are. I inserted a screenshot of the final product here. That way you kind of have an idea of what I'm sketching out here, since I know it's a little hard to see because it's so light. In order to achieve my three colors that I have here, I just mixed together a dark blue with a light blue, and I also have white. So I kind of just mixed these together until I got the tones that I wanted. Now obviously you don't have to paint your hydrangeas blue, but just make sure that you have three tones of whatever color you want to paint your hydrangeas. And to paint my hydrangeas, I only used one brush and I didn't wash it between my colors. This helps me achieve layers a little more effortlessly. I'm not the best painter, so I don't like to go back and forth with different colors on different paintbrushes and layer colors on top of each other. I find that just using one brush dipped between all the colors, it just adds a little more layers and a little more dimensions to my petals. So I start with my middle shade and I lightly dip into my color and I start making these little petal shapes. So just pull your brush down and up, and then side to side, and you're going to create a tiny little flower. And I know there's a little bit of dark on my paintbrush, but that's just from when I was mixing up my colors. It's fine because when I go back and I paint, all the colors are going to be layered on top of each other anyways. Make sure you're only lightly dipping into your paint. You don't want to be putting too much paint on your paintbrush and creating big blobs on top of your flowers. And if you think it looks too thin, that's fine because we're going to be layering a ton of little petals on top of each other. What you're going to do is you're going to keep painting these little flower shapes all around your hydrangea. I lightly dipped into my darkest color and I did the same thing. I just repeated the process of painting in the little tiny petals. Now I'm going to add in my highlights with my lightest color. So I lightly dip into my light color, and then I create a few little petals. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start dabbing your paintbrush really lightly all around your hydrangea. And what this is going to do is add really light, delicate, textured looking petals. And if you find you're not getting this little feathered look, it's because you have too much paint on your paintbrush. So dab off your paintbrush, let your flower dry, and then lightly dip back into your light color and try again. You should be getting these really airy, delicate, fluffy looking type petals. Now, if you don't like the way your hydrangea is looking right now, just let it dry and repeat the process over again until you're happy with how your flowers look. Now I want to add some shadows towards the bottom of my hydrangeas. So I'm going to use the same method as I did with my highlights. I'm just going to use my darker color, and I'm going to add those little dabs of paint on the bottom parts of my hydrangea. Before we paint the stems, you're just going to take a look at your flowers, and if you're happy with how they look, then that's great. And if you're not too happy with what they look like, just let them dry and repeat the process all over again from the beginning. Just start with your medium color, add your petals, your dark color, add your petals, add your highlights, add your shadows, add a little more highlights if you want, and then once you get the look you want, let your flowers dry, and then we're going to paint the stems. In order to paint my stems, I did the same process of the dark, the medium, and the light. I had a dark green, a light green, and a white, and I mixed them together to get the tones of green that I wanted. So I made sure to wash off my brush in between the blue and the green, and I lightly dipped into my darkest green color, and I flipped my paintbrush on its side in order to get a thin line, and then I just dragged my paintbrush down the stem that I drew out with my pencil. Hydrangeas have these little parts that go up from their stem to the flowers, so I'm just adding those in here. Now I'm going to go over to my leaves and kind of add in a little bit of dark edging. If you find you're running out of paint, just lightly dab into the dark. Just remember, dip lightly into your paint, that way we're not getting all blobby. So once I have my stem and the outline of my leaves, I'm gonna go in with my medium color, repeat the same process, just kind of layering it on top of each other. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to look exactly like a leaf. And then I took my light color and I did the same thing. I just kind of pulled some highlights through my stem. And that's about it for these hydrangeas. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you had fun painting along, and we'll see you next time.